Just like that, it is Friday. It's the final episode of the week of Red Sox Now. I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Comments, they're great. We're going to do that, of course, during the Friday show. We'd like you to share, spread good vibes, and enjoy Red Sox baseball this weekend. We won't have any weekend shows. We'll be back, of course, on Monday. Follow me on my social channels at the Radio Mike. And again, I'm one of the radio and TV broadcasters for the Worcester Red Sox if you're hopping in for the first time, and I will be with them for a couple of games next week when they're home and get a chance to see Christian Campbell play first base at Polar Park. So a big stretch for the Red Sox. It all starts tonight. When we look at where they are in the American League, and, you know, it's fair to say it's a big climb. That's what it looks like. They're 2 games out of a wild card because of the teams in front of them. Now, some of the teams in front of them they've struggled against. The Angels, Cleveland, Seattle, they won 2 of 3. They've got Toronto. So as bad as everything is, and that's why I try to tell people don't live in the moment. The Red Sox have been, as we've talked about, a team of extremes. But you still have time. So as bad as everything feels right now, I think these next 16 games say a lot. But you're still 2 games out. And you play teams in front of you and teams that aren't great coming up. Big series against Toronto. I don't like saying that, but if it's a team that is going to be in front of you or in that wild card spot, you don't want to have a losing record against them because their tiebreakers come. And this happened last year. You played Toronto, and you did not play well when you had a chance to pass them. So this is where you have to kind of turn the page. Yeah, the road trip was disappointing. And yes, I probably do the same thing as you guys do. They blew 2 games they should have won. I could take some of those other losses when you just get shut down by a pitcher, but the 2 games where you scored 5 runs and lost, where you blew those games, those hurt. And right now, if that did not happen, you're 42-40, and you're right there. You're ahead of Cleveland, and you're a half game out. But you can't do that. So you still have a chance. I think the Red Sox need to go. I think they need to go 46-34. They need to play 12 games over 500. That's what I like. That's what I think they need to do to get a wild card. Seattle, I know that has that final wild card is only 41-39, but I don't want to bank on low expectations. But 13 of 15 at home, and this is what you have to do. Now, will they make changes? We'll see. Are they going to face some good starters? They are, and their offense has not been clicking, but let's see if that changes. You face Berrios tonight, good pitcher. Bayo's on that mound. Bayo's got to step it up. You know, he should be a top-of-the-rotation guy. At times, he's not pitched like that. This is where you need your starting pitching to pitch out of their you-know-what, and it really has to happen tonight. So this is a huge stretch. You've got the Blue Jays, and you've got Cincinnati. And by the way, we'll talk about this next week. I call it serendipity. The 50th anniversary of the 1975 Red Sox. They're going to honor them next Wednesday when they play the Reds. What are the odds of that? It just had to work out that way, the schedule, and that is really good that it did. So we'll talk about that. All right, we get some updates. Crawford is going to have wrist surgery. He is out for the year. Now, Alex Cora, you know, it's one of those things that sucks at Cora because we're talking about how deep we were in spring training and the options that we had in starting rotation. Now it's getting thinner and thinner. It really is. So Cora said it's just an accident. Something happened with Crawford. It just sucks that it happened this way. I'm not going to get into it, but it was irresponsible. It wasn't irresponsible. So we'll never know. And I think if it was irresponsible, I don't blame Cora for not saying anything. It's not worth, you know, especially in this market, any more drama. But it's too bad because, but we see this. We see this all the time where you think you have all this starting pitching and then it goes south. You know, I wasn't really counting on Cutter Crawford. I don't know if any of you were, to be honest. He's been out so long, but this is why I said it maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago about I'd still go after starting pitching if you can. Again, it's never the easy thing when you try to get starting pitching, especially when someone knows. Kyle Harrison made his organizational debut for the Worcester Red Sox. From the reports I got from the guys there, his stuff was good. He gave up 8 hits. He threw 76 pitches, 51 strikes. He gave up 4 runs, a homer, walked 1, struck out 4, but was throwing the ball hard. I don't really go nuts about results in the minor leagues. There will be things that Harrison is doing differently. He's learning a cutter. It's just different. So I don't really put a lot of stock in that. And I didn't see it live. I watched a little bit of it. And the plan, I think, for him is to make one more start, which would be next week at Polar Park in Worcester. So if those are local and want to go, you'd be able to see that. So those are the updates on Crawford and Kyle Harrison. Another start for Christian Campbell at first. I was able to go back. I have this luxury. He was 1 for 2, by the way, with a walk and 2 runs scored. A couple nights ago, he was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. But I can go back and watch all the balls that are involved with him at first base, and he looks good at first. He really does, and he brings some athleticism to that position. So that's something that I certainly like, and we'll see how that goes. All right, would you consider this guy from the Braves? Well, I want Acuna. That's probably not going to happen. But many sources are saying that Boston is the best fit for Atlanta DH Marcell Ozuna. That's according to multiple ESPN analysts. Ozuna's in a contract year. He's a pure DH. Now, the power numbers are down. He loves Fenway Park, though. He's hit a lot of home runs, but the on-base percentage is up. I think with this Red Sox team right now, you'll take that. But he has the 10-5 rights, which can give him the ability to veto any trade. So the deal is uncertain. But I think he likes Fenway, and I would love to see that. I would really love to see that. So I want to know your thoughts on that. I'm all for Ozuna being with the Red Sox. We're going to do this now pretty much every day because of you guys and gals. You dictate this Red Sox Now show. You do. Your comments are over the top, not in a bad way. We're getting so many. We had 26 the other day. Well, some were me responding, but you know what I mean. We still had a lot. But we're getting tons. We're getting the views are up there. So we are now going to have a you section every day. This is about you. This last slide is about you. We're going to read your comments. I love this first one. Starman W422007. Does that have to do with James Bond? How soon do you see Dylan Cease and Robert Suarez donning a Red Sox jersey? I don't think anytime soon. I'd love to. Maybe in the offseason. By the way, new subscriber to your channel. Love the Red Sox. Been rooting for them since the 70s. So you're going to like that 75 Appreciation Day. It's 55 years of rooting for the Red Sox. And the Lord willing, I'll be rooting for the Red Sox another 55, give or take. LOL. Amen, brother. Great comment. Dave K, 6949. Duran's throwing is actually better than average. He has what looks like a stiff throwing motion, but he's consistently ranked over the 60% in arm strength. Okay. I don't think it's accurate. I just use my eyes. I've watched this, Dave. Everyone runs on him. Danny Jansen ran on him at Fenway Park when he was barely at the bag at third. I took a screenshot from high home. You don't do that against guys that are accurate. Maybe he does have I don't think it's that strong, but, with the numbers, whatever the numbers say, but not a good outfielder for me at all. I think Anthony's better. James Fontes, 9292. That's when you were born. I love to figure out the nickname, the handles. Remember Heathcliff Slocum to Seattle for Lowe and Veritek. Now, that was a good trade. That was. And you don't see a lot of those anymore. Go back and look at Dan Duquette's reign as GM with the Red Sox. That was pretty good. Pedro Martinez might go down as one of the best trades in the history. He also signed a guy named Manny Ramirez and Johnny Damon. That core that in 2004 has a lot of fingerprints of Dan Duquette. Totally cool, yeah. I like this. I like your handle. Should be an intriguing deadline. Agree with the mix of buy, sell. Chapman is a great asset to dangle out there. I think because you have some flexibility with that position. I don't want to say that closer's not important, but it's not like you have no one to do it. I still believe that Whitlock could do it, or Slayton when he comes back, or even Weissert. You get that position. Chapman is going to net you a lot. You could a team that's close, or a team that's winning, that has issues in that ninth inning, and they feel like they're a World Series team, but the back end is killing them. I'm telling you, you get a lot for that. Okay, that's the final show of the week, the Friday finale. Not forever. We'll be back Monday with another episode of Red Sox Now. Sox and Jays, this will be a huge weekend. Send the comments. I'll reply all weekend. You see Mike Antonellis Media. That's me that's replying to you. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a terrific weekend. And as always, go Sox.